let me point this out super fast because I think we all recognize this, which is each year, and I mean, this has been standard for like 50 plus years, going back to 1975. But basically what they do is they look at the inflation data every year to determine the Social Security COLA, which is the annual raise. We all recognize that. And then they base it on a percentage, okay? So like 2.8%, 3.2%, 5.9%, 8.7%, 1.3%, 0%. 0% is also an option, remember. But my point being is that based on the inflation data, they come up with some percentage and then they say, yeah, everybody on Social Security is going to get 2.8%. And then based on somebody's benefit amount, you can calculate how much of a raise that person is going to be getting. Now, obviously, the lower that somebody's benefit is, the lower the raise is. For example, let me throw out a super fast example here, which again, I just want to give this to you for practical purposes so we can all see what this highlights. Let's just say that we're going to get a 2.8% raise, like we got this year. Let's just say that somebody is getting a $1,000 monthly benefit. That would translate into $28 per month more on $1,000. Okay, nice. Let's just say that somebody is getting a $4,000 benefit and we're also getting a 2.8% raise. That'd be how much? $112 more per month. So in this example, it's still a 2.8% raise. The person getting $1,000 a month is getting $28. Somebody getting $4,000 a month is getting $112 a month more. Do you see how that favors higher income beneficiaries? Because we're basing it off of calculations using percentages based on somebody's benefit amount, and then again, calculating that out. And obviously, the bigger the benefit amount yields a higher raise in real dollars, right? We've known this for years. And then obviously, this continues to compound. So the higher the benefit, the higher the raise, higher the compounding, and it just goes on and on and on. So the bigger benefits get bigger and bigger and bigger faster, and the lower benefits basically stay small and they don't grow all that much. It's compounding at its finest. Don't get me wrong. Compounding is really, really good. It helps. Compounding is good. Don't get me wrong. But when it comes down to this, when it comes down to the raise, the compounding for the highest income beneficiaries, honestly, it gets their benefits very big, very fast, and the lower income people continue to struggle. Anyway, let's pop this article up here now. Feel free to read the details on this. Let me explain exactly what's going on. So now, going back to a concept that has been floated on and off over several years, and again, going back to 1987 even, is implementing a flat dollar amount COLA rather than a percentage. Now, let me explain how this would work. Right now, the average Social Security benefit is about $2,083 a month. Okay, that's the average right now. Now, what they would want to do with this flat concept, and again, I'm going to be fair with you, this is good for low-income beneficiaries. Higher-income beneficiaries, not so good, and I'll explain exactly why. Now, here's what they would want to do. Essentially implement a flat dollar amount raise to beneficiaries each year rather than a percentage. So rather than Social Security coming out saying, we're going to do a 2.8% COLA, rather than that, they would say, we're going to give a flat $58 raise or something like that. Again, I'm just giving these examples. These are not real numbers, to be fair, okay? It's giving examples. I don't need anybody leaving comments down below saying, you told us we were getting $58 more this month. No, I did not say that, okay? Anyway, so here's what this would do. A flat dollar amount. Now, reason being is that this would be good for lower income people, as they would use the average benefit across the board to calculate the dollar amount raise, okay? So what they would do is they would just, figure out what the raise is going to be. They would find the average benefit at that time. They would calculate the raise based on the average benefit, and then they would say everybody gets X dollars per month more in the upcoming year. So somebody getting a $700 monthly benefit would get the same as somebody getting a $5,000 plus monthly benefit in real dollars, because it would be a flat dollar amount, not a percentage. Okay? Now, here's how this would benefit the lower income beneficiaries. Because this would be based on the average benefit, and again, right now the average benefit is about $2,083 a month. Okay, so anybody getting less than $2,083 a month would benefit because they would be getting a dollar for dollar higher increase based on that, because, Obviously, if it was based on a percentage, then their raise wouldn't be quite as high. So they would be benefiting on the lower end of the benefit scale. But the people on the higher end of the scale would actually be losing. Okay, so I know many of you are probably laughing, thinking, this is awesome. Yeah, higher income people, this is great. They're not getting as much. But here's the deal. It's true, because if they're using the average benefit of, say, $2,083 a month to calculate the raise for that flat dollar amount, somebody getting $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month would actually see a significant less of a raise. And this goes back to my example that I gave earlier, which was somebody getting a $1,000 benefit based on 2.8% would get $28 a month. Somebody getting $2,000 would be getting on 2.8% would be getting $56 a month. Somebody getting a $4,000 benefit based on a 2.8% raise would be getting $112 a month. So in this case, and in this example that I'm giving here, okay, you could see how if it actually happened to be 2.8%, and again being the average benefit of $2,083, the person on getting a $1,000 monthly benefit would essentially get a double their raise. Their raise would be essentially double what it was going to be. $28 would effectively be about $56, doubling their raise. Meanwhile, somebody on a $4,000 monthly benefit, again, getting the same dollar amount raise of, say, $56 in this example here, would effectively be getting half of the raise that they would otherwise be seeing. So how this would actually work is, again, it would still be the flat dollar amount, but rather than looking at it that way, just think of it this way. Somebody on, say, a $1,000 monthly benefit, half of the average, would be essentially getting, say, like a 5.6% raise. Somebody getting the average, again, in this example, would be essentially getting a 2.8% raise. And somebody getting $4,000, again, double the average, would be effectively getting half of that, which would be about a 1.4% raise. Again, in these examples that I'm giving. We don't know what it would actually be at this time, but this is actually a pretty cool concept. Now, we would also have to take into consideration compounding. I mentioned that earlier. Compounding is incredible. When compounding works for you, it's a really good thing when it works for you. When it works against you, it's a really bad thing when it works against you, okay? But either way, compounding is really amazing when it works in your favor. But in this case, this would allow the highest income beneficiaries to maybe have their benefits chill out a little bit and not raise quite as rapidly, because the compounding effect would essentially be significantly reduced because of their benefit being less. However, the lower income beneficiaries that are essentially getting an effective double raise to their monthly benefit because of the flat